are ministries that are ongoing in our area, and we're allowing those groups to come and present to us. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. Okay, oh, never mind. Tonight we will have the Texas Ramp Project, and Daryl and Mark are here, and they're going to go ahead and let us know something about their activities. In the event you have any questions, our own Day-to-Day will be the contact person after the gathering. After the gathering. So if you guys want to come on up and make your presentation.
The very top. No? Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Still that. Okay. So I'm Daryl O'Brien. This is Mark Quartercracks over here. Mark actually, he started in this program in 2019, and then he drugged me into it toward the end of 2021. The Texas Ramp Project, and you go ahead and go to that. Okay. So I'll give you a little background here. So actually, there's a guy, his name is John Lane. He founded Texas Ramp Project. He started building ramps in the mid-1980s, 1985 actually. He started building ramps in the Dallas-Fort Worth area there. And finally, in 2006, he decided he wanted to grow that organization. So he actually incorporated as a 501c3 non-charitable, and in 2006, and since that time, basically, it's grown to a statewide organization. They built 27,000 ramps today, which is a total of about 139 miles worth of ramps. So we've expended about 715,000 volunteer man-hours in that time. If you total up, if you put a value on the labor and the materials that we've bought, we've spent about $32 million. We put about $32 million worth of ramps. We build ADA compliant ramps. It's all local volunteers. There's one statewide officer, and that's the only salary. Everything else goes directly to the ramps. That Guide Star Gold Seal of Transparency, basically they audit our books every year and just make sure that we're being transparent in how we do them. The mission statement is no Texas resident shall lack safe access to their houses due to financial limitations. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about referrals, how to make referrals. I'll start with that. So it's actually a very simple process to do referrals. The only thing we ask is it needs to be a third party. So it can't be someone in a family, it can't be a friend. It has to be a third party. So typically that would mean, historically, social service agencies gave us most of our referrals. Back when Mark started, well, that's what we were getting in 20 and 21. There's two of those they're actually in Victoria, Golden Crest, Agency on Aging, and then the Community Action Committee of Victoria. But they will make referrals in this area as well. But what's happened is, since 2022, when we had a change in our program and started focusing more just in this area. So when Mark started, Mark had 7 counties, and he was working out of the Victoria region. And most of the ramps we built were in that area, in the Victoria area. We built some here, but not a whole lot. And what happened in 2022 is funding ran out in late 2021. The Golden Crescent, that was our primary funding at that time. It's a government agency. They ran out of money in late 2021. So Mark and I decided that we wanted to go a different way because we wanted to build in our area here, close to home. And so anyway, what's happened since that time is we've actually, most of our referrals now come from doctors, nurses, home health care providers, rehab facilities. That's where the majority of our referrals come from today, okay? Like I said, volunteers, it's all local volunteers. We ask that they be at least 16 years of age, except we do allow younger children to come, but we would like for there to be an adult there to supervise them. That's all we ask. So, in other words, a parent, or if it was a school, a school group, that someone from the school was there to supervise. So we don't have to take that responsibility, okay? But we have had kids less than 16 years old on the site. Most bills, I'll explain how we do it, but most of our bills are less than 3 hours on site. Depending on how long the ramp is, it's 2 to 2.5 hours long. So we're well prepared when we show up at the site. So it's normally on the Saturday. We do some weekday bills. We have a retired group that does some weekday bills, but the majority of our bills are on Saturday. Okay. So we've kind of overworked the volunteers that we have. I mean, this program has grown a lot since when we broke off and started working just in this area. We build, the last 2 years we built 30 ramps in each year, and this year we're actually going to do more than that. And we've kind of maximized what we can do with the volunteer groups we have today. That's why we're looking for more volunteers. We'll actually have over 42 work days this year for our volunteers. And we really have a need for a third team to get going is what we really need, because we've maxed out the 2 that we've had. Just so you know, we've already in this area received 24 referrals this year. Of course, we had some left over from last year, so I mean, we've already got all the referral time that we can even build this year. 8 of those are in Lavaca County. So what we cover 3 counties now. We cover DeWitt, Gonzales, and Lavaca. And our volunteers come from all that area right now. Okay? It's a really, most of the, or all the people that help us, it's a really rewarding experience. You literally transform someone's life in a morning. I mean, you'd be really astonished at the number of people that we build for, that they haven't been out of their house in 6 months, a year. You'd be shocked that there's people out there like that, but it happens. We see it all the time. Okay. Funding. So on a statewide level, there are service clubs, Rotary clubs, Lion clubs, those type of things. They give money. Businesses, Lowe's, Home Depot, those kind of businesses. Churches, we have a lot of churches that give us money. United Way, we get some money from them. And then our primary source is foundations. We've gotten some grants. Well, GBEC actually gave us a grant in 2022. Yeah. That's kind of what got us rolling. And then since that, in the meantime, we've had out of Victoria, the Johnson Foundation gave us a large grant as well. In fact, they gave us 2. So that's really helped us get rolling. So Mark and I, we're not fundraisers. We got into this to build ramps. And so, but what happened is when we ran out of money in 2021, Mark and I figured out how to get some money. So that helped us get rolling. So what happened is actually we started doing that kind of on our own because Texas Ramp was not fulfilling that goal, and so we started doing it. When they realized we were serious about it, then they said, "Oh, hang on, guys, we'll make you your own region, and we'll find you some funding." And so since that time, they've been real helpful getting us some additional funding. They formed the Victoria North region, which includes DeWitt, Gonzales, and Lavaca counties. And so what we did is we started focusing. We weren't getting a lot of referrals in this area either because we didn't have a lot of ramps built in this area. So what we did is we started doing presentations like this to clubs, churches, and we got the word out. And then once we started building ramps here, the referrals, they started picking up. And I mean, we're to the point now where we we've got plenty of referrals over here. Of course, we raised quite a bit of money, and that's helped get us going. And then since 2022, we've actually completed 72 ramps in the 29 months since then. And 29 of those are in Lavaca. The only thing, the donations can be made directly to the Texas Ramp Project, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing we would ask is if you do that, we'd like for you to designate that it's for this region so that we keep that money here in this area. Okay? So I just want to give you an idea of who we build for. So you wouldn't imagine, I mean, we built from 4 to 94. And honestly, probably half the people are younger than I am. I mean, you know, people with diabetes, people on dialysis, you know, people without limbs, without legs. And I mean, it's just, the list goes on and on. This young girl here is from this area, actually. She's a 4-year-old. She's a real ball of fire, but you would be surprised. She was so excited when she got it. She could not go outside without her mother helping her get outside. And so when we built that ramp, she was just giddy with excitement because she could get out without her mom. So she loved it. So that was a real rewarding one. Okay, next slide. So this is someone from the Shiner area, just outside Shiner there. She actually had diabetes, and she had some of her toes cut off. So she was struggling to get in and out of her house, just to go to the doctor. So anyway, we built that ramp for her back in 2022, I think it was. And then next slide. So this is the 94-year-old we built in Puerto. Next. Oh, I tell you what, go back 2 slides. I want to talk a little bit. One more? Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about how we build these. David knows this already, since he's helped us quite a bit. So what we do is we pre-build. These are 2x6 bases. A typical one is 4x8, but they can be all different sizes. But those bases, we actually, Mark has a shop out there. Got a lot of room outside, and we actually put all those bases together. In fact, we got a pre-build tomorrow morning. We're going to do a pre-build, and we have a bunch of retirees that show up to help us do the pre-build. But we build those 2x6 bases. Like I say, most of them are 4x8. We put all those together, and then when we go to the field, it's pretty easy. You just start with the first one, and we have special tools built to help us hang them. And it's a pretty simple process. We go and we put the bases in one after the other all the way to the bottom. And then we go and put the plywood on from top to bottom, and then we come and put the handrails on, and then put the verticals, and then the handrail and the toe. So it's a pretty laid out process. And once you've done one, there's nothing. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Also, something I wanted to mention. So go back to. So from an age perspective, so most of the people in our group are older than I am. We have very few that are younger than me. I think there's 2 that are younger than me. Most of them are older than we are. So just so you know, this is actually my uncle right here. He's 83 years old.
And that's his grandson, right?
That's his grandson right there. Yes, he just graduated. That's his college. And that guy's over 80 years old as well. So, I mean, it's not, there's nothing difficult about what we're doing, right? The most difficult part is setting the bases in. And actually, with the tools we got set up, it's really not that hard. Okay? Also, women. So, go to the, yeah. That's actually my wife right here. So, we do have women. Charles's wife, she helps us as well. So we've had other members. So just anybody can help. It's not complicated at all. You don't have to be a craftsman. Okay. Keep going. Okay. Go back. Let me see. I don't think. I didn't read all these. Okay. So I just talked about how we actually we get the referrals from the Texas Ranch Project. They're emailed, the same day they're put in, they're emailed to me. They're not screened or anything, come directly to me. And then what I do is I go out and I do a survey, take some measurements, I determine what configuration is going to work there. I develop a drawing, put a bill of materials together, order some materials, they go to Marks. And then in order to reduce the time on site, like I said, we pre-build all the bases in the starter. We pre-cut as much as we can before we show up. And then what we normally do is we go to the site the day before. That first base is always the hardest one to set because it's got to be level, it's got to be square. Everything's got to fit just right. And so we don't have a lot of people standing around while we're doing it. We go the day before and we try to set that first base and get it set. Because then when they show up, they can just go and they don't ever stop from there. And then, like I've talked about the tools and jigs, but the idea is we're trying to cut down, so volunteers are critical to us. Otherwise, there's no way we can build as many ramps as we build. And so what we want is we want to have it as short as possible and as painless as possible so the volunteers are willing to come. You know, typically a Saturday morning you spend 3 hours, that's not a heavy commitment, right? And so that's what we're trying to do is make it so that the volunteers, they feel good about coming. You know, we want to be well prepared for them. Okay. We set those, I talked about, we set the bases on the 5%. We put the support on the concrete blocks above ground. We don't do any digging. So there's nothing hard about any of that. Basically, we just square it up, put the plywood on there, square it up as we come down, install the verticals, put the handrails on there, and we're done. And it's a really, David will tell you, it's not a very complicated process.
Well, yeah, David, he's really good at like this, the starter is a different phase. We call the part of the ramp that touches the ground is actually the beginning if you're going up the ramp. We call that a starter. And this guy is like a genius. He's the only guy that knows how to do it. In fact, I've threatened to blindfold him. See if he can build it blindfold. Because he jumps right in on every ramp he's at. He jumps right in and does the starter. It just takes a whole lot of pressure off me and the other guys. But yeah, David's. If you guys got any questions, this guy's been in so many. Rick's been in a couple of those too. So, but yeah, if it wasn't for Ranger Gate and the people that come, the volunteer group that comes from Denver, I don't know where we'd be.
The materials for a regular ramp, say a medium size ramp, how much dollars and cents is it involved in?
It's about $20 a foot. Is about what a workshop would be.
Actually, Kay was telling me it's about 25. It's on up to 25, and our average ramp is 38. So it's $1,000.
Yeah,
Roughly 1,000. That's the way to look at it. Some are going to be shorter. Like if we build in town limits, and it's not a mobile home, then it's going to it's going to be $700-800. But in the really, really long ones that sit up 40 inches or so, that are 55, 60 feet, those are $11, $1200. But the average ramp is about for materials.
okay. So in closing, just, thanks for your time. That was something I forgot to mention a while ago is, in terms of volunteers, we're always available to do a presentation, okay? We'll travel. We've actually been to the coast of Texas. We've been to Stargate before to do a presentation. So, we'll travel anywhere because we think it's important that the word get out, okay? Anyway, all we'd ask that you spread the word. We brought a few brochures over here. Potential referral sites if you've got senior citizen groups that, might be interested. If you've got doctors around here that don't know about the program and you want to give them one of those brochures, that would be great. Recruit. That's the other thing about volunteers is we're actually looking for schools. If a school has a youth group or or church has a youth group that we'd love to build with a younger group. We really would. We think it'd be impactful for them, and it would be helpful for us as well. Okay? And, we have fun. That's the idea, we have fellowship, we have fun. It's an enjoyable experience, so if any of y'all are interested, we'd love to hear from you.
When is your next one scheduled for?
So we actually, the Rotary Club, is that right, the Rotary Club? Or is it the Lions?
This road.
Okay, the Rotary in Shiner is building this Saturday. And then the weekend after that, we actually have the Ranger Gate building, that weekend. That next Saturday.
The next 2 Saturdays you'll be out
Yes,
there.
yes.
Talk to David.
Talk to David, yes.
Yeah,
Maybe he can twist some arms.
David, are you talking about?
I was gonna say Big David, but there's a lot of Big David.
Any other questions?
Do you use screws or nails or what do you?
Screws.
What type
We
of
use
screws
screws.
do you use? Screw everything together?
Yes,
You do?
yes. Yes, everything is true.
We use the impact drivers with the T-star bits.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, is in terms of tools, we have all the tools. If you want to bring your own, there's nothing wrong with that. There are people that do that. We have tools, saws, nail pouches. We have all that stuff. Some people bring their own personal nail pouch. We don't care. Whatever